All right, folks, good evening, welcome. I'm sitting in for Ayo Ozugbakun, who is unavoidably absent. So, as we say in broadcasting, the show must go on. I'm Citizen Jones, and today on the program, tell you that bandits return to Abuja-Kaduna Highway, kill and abduct travelers, just as Army Chief tasked troops to be brutal on bandits, kill them and bring their corpses and weapons. Ohaneze urges Southeast residents to go about their activities on Mondays, I should say, says IPOB sit-at-home no longer tenable. And later on, we'll share this with you. APC governors demand meeting with Mr. President over National Convention Electoral Act Amendment Bill. I'm hanging out with Gani Kayode Balogun, the one known as GKB. I greet you.
Thank you very much, citizen.
Yeah, there's also Paul Dada here. Paul, I greet you too.
I greet you back.
So the team is ready. I hope you are. Unfortunately, we start today's program on a rather sad note by telling you that veteran Nigerian comic actor Babatunde Omidino, popularly known as Baba Suwe, died at the age of 63 this morning. The news of his death was confirmed by the son Adedola Omidino and the president of the Theatre Arts and Motion Pictures Producers Association of Nigeria, Bolaji Amuson, also known as Mr. Latin. Baba Suwe battled some ailments before succumbing to the cold hands of death. May he find rest in the Lord. Okay, to our first story. Now, complete pandemonium returned to the Abuja-Kaduna Highway as armed bandits struck on Sunday afternoon. Many hapless travelers were caught in the stampede, in which an unknown number of them were abducted. The incident took place at Katari village, I hope I got that right, at about 2 p.m. Meanwhile, Army Chief Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya has charged troops to be ruthless with the brigands, seize their weapons, and possibly bring their corpses home. These are times that try men's souls. But first, let's share a glimpse of what happened on the Abuja-Kaduna road with you, as captured by a traveler. Watch out.
This is kidnapping life in broad daylight. Thank God for our life on the 21st of November 2001. Thank you, God, for saving us. Nigga, my Jesus. Thank you, God.
Yes, thank God.
Life one. Correct. You can hear the gunshot.
God is faithful.
You can hear the gunshot. It's slow down.
God is faithful.
Correct. You can hear the gunshot.
God is faithful.
You can hear the gunshot. Scaring them away. You can hear the gunshot. Live gunfire going on.
God is faithful.
Gunfire going on.
Yes, sir. They brought somebody.
They have kidnapped some people. What's happened? La ilaha illallah. Oh God. Let's ask some people. So someone is been shot. Oh shit, right inside his car. Oh God. He's happening live on our way back. Oh shit, he's been shot. He's been shot. Under! Individual! Individual! Yeah! Individual here, God! What did I tell you? See individual! Hey, it's Gabokimu!
They carry our friend.
Hey, they don't carry our friend.
Hey, see our friend. Hey, Jesus!
I tell you, say this car!
Hey!
You say me also like motor.
Oh, Jesus, they carry our friend.
Oh God! Oh God of creation!
Oh, Jesus. Hey, no, I just live here before. Then, if any...
Oh God!
Gani, indeed, these are times that will try men's souls.
Indeed. We are going through a period in our national history that we've not had since the Civil War. Even Civil War obeyed the rules of engagement because we accepted that we are at war. But we've been pretending that this is not a war. We call it any other name, but that we are in the middle of a war. We call it brigadry.
Well, not a shooting war.
We call it terrorism.
Okay.
We have a million names. But the one that we require what it is, we refuse to call it. We even refuse to call the bandits what everybody else are calling them, that they are terrorists. And that we are not having insurgency, we are having a battle for our lives. It's unfortunate that we've reached this point at this sorry pass for two obvious reasons. One, we have the resources to have nipped this in the bud a long time ago. But we were playing politics with this reality. And once you play politics with a particular reality, another reality will dawn on you, that you are no longer in control of the narrative. That to me is the saddest part. This picture is a graphic representation of where Nigeria is right now. When one of the busiest roads in Nigeria, this can happen in broad daylight, 2 p.m.
Pictures don't tell lies.
And this is reality. So those who think that we are alarmist on this program or that we are always crying foul, this will show them that Nigeria is not yet at a point where we can shout to war.
Only terrorists or terror gangs will do a thing like this.
Remember that a couple of years ago, I think last year or thereabouts, there was a concerted effort made to secure the Abuja-Kaduna route. And they were successful for a bit. But although one is not a military strategist, it's common sense that if you win a battle, you hold that position.
Yeah.
We have the tendency of winning back land and roads and then leaving them to their devices while we move on to another theater of war. That to me is the reason why this is, like I said, I'm not a military strategist, but it's common sense that if you have won the battle to make the Kaduna-Abuja road motorable and safe, common sense dictates that you hold on to that narrative for as long as practicable.
Yeah.
Not allow them to come back and wreak this havoc.
Paul, I wonder if you were eavesdropping on what I discussed with GKB on the sideline.
Yeah, I heard it.
Have the railway workers called off their strike? In other words, so you want to link that to this. If the trains were working,
yes,
perhaps.
Probably a lot of people took to that road because the railway workers were on strike. But they've cut off the strike, and maybe some
services have not fully resumed.
Yes,
by rail.
Yeah, possibly so. But my worry is, and my worry is in form of a question: when will this narrative change? Lady Nigeria is bleeding from all sides. When it is not Abuja-Kaduna highway, it is Niger. When it's the South Niger, it is Kaduna. When it's not Kaduna, it is the Southeast. When it's not Southeast, it's Ondo. Or even Lagos. You know what happened recently when they had to...
Ekpe?
Yeah, what happened at Ekpe? When will the narrative change? We keep saying the same thing over and over. We keep crying for things to change. Things are not changing. Whatever the government is doing, whatever the authorities are doing, whatever they think they are not doing enough. Whatever they are doing is not yielding the desired fruit. And that is the point. By now, probably we need to rethink our strategy. I don't know whether it's lack of capacity, it's lack of political will, to go the whole way to deal with this thing. By now, I expect that if we don't have answers to these problems, we should seek help. I expect probably a national security summit. I'm not talking of a summit of only the Security Council meeting. I'm talking national security summit. Let people come and proffer solutions. Let experts, let people come and proffer solutions. I'm talking of a grand national security summit, so that we can look at ways to deal with these issues. Because again...
otherwise, a summit that's a far cry from a talk shop.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's going to happen. I may sound pessimistic, but it's the truth. It is going to happen and happen and happen again. And we are always reacting.
Yeah.
There are no proactive, tangible, visible, proactive measures that are being taken to check this. Intelligence gathering is very, very poor. And when there is intelligence reports, sometimes we've heard the allegation that intelligence reports are not being acted
on time.
On time. Exactly. So what is happening?
GKB, and there's this other angle to it. Let me come. I'm like you. I'm not a security expert. But many times in this country, we discuss security matters in the open. Certain things, if you are plotting a counter-offensive against kidnappers, I must not know. I must not hear about it.
That habit is the most annoying part of being a Nigerian. Because we have what the Igbo man will call that we are transgressing on somebody else's stuff. But that's not the reality. The reality is that what is that we are announced beforehand things we are going to do. Nigeria is the only country, maybe not the only country that I know where people take pride, and newspapers too, take pride in reporting what people are going to do.
Preempting.
That's what they do. They think that's the exclusive.
They think for you.
And they assume this is what you are going to do, instead of waiting for you to do it, and then we move on from there. Like you said, we have a problem that we don't seem to have a solution for. More and more governors are coming to the reality that we need state police. But even now, with a full complement of state police, do we still have the capacity? Even with the full complement of state, local government police, we still have the capacity to stop this nonsense. Because it has become a cancer, weaved into the fabric of our nationhood. People have taken banditry and criminality as an everyday occurrence that no longer shocks people. I'm sure tomorrow's newspaper, this will not be the lead. It will be the second lead. That's how immune we've become to the problem.
So apparently the media is not setting agenda as it.
No, we have. We have done that many times, but like I said, the army will deny what is obvious. The people are still denying that bandits are holding major chunks of the Nigerian landmass. They said no, it's not true. But 2 days later, you said they will also tell you that they've just recaptured. How can you recapture what you did not lose? It's amazing. And that's where the challenge we have comes from. Because we don't seem to trust the system. Even those who are state actors don't trust the system that they're supposed to operate in.
Paul, how do we factor in the marching orders the army chief has given his troops?
Yes, the army chief spoke like an army chief. He talked tough. Bring back their corpses. That's what he said, the bandits. Fine. Of course, we can all say that bandits deserve nothing. Unrepentant bandits deserve nothing but untimely death. And for their remains to be taken 6 feet under the ground. Okay, fine. But I said it on this program, the last time I came here, that's fine. That's dealing with symptoms. I will say it over and over. You can kill the bandits, but there are bandit leaders, there are bandit sponsors. If we don't take those ones out, now the people whose corpses need to be brought home, maybe, are those ones that are sponsoring this banditry, that are gaining a lot. Because I have said it that if you look at some of these so-called bandits.
They are not so-called, Paul.
Okay.
They are bandits.
Yeah, they are bandits. Of course, they are bandits. Some people say we should call them terrorists. I don't even care what you call them.
No. Don't go there.
I don't even, that's not even my business. For now, those bandits, if you look at them, when they are arrested, illiterate, scrawny looking, hungry looking sometimes.
Unrepentant.
Unrepentant. You wouldn't say those are the ones that are earning the millions.
All right, please, let me pause you. Olalade is reaching us from Ilorin, Kwara State. Olalade, good afternoon. How do you do?
How are you, sir? I'm
good evening.
Olalade from Ilorin, Kwara State.
Yeah, you are on, sir.
Yes, my own comment as regards to bandits or terrorists or whatever. My own point and advice is that, from my own point of view, is that whoever commits any offense should be punished severely. You are only wasting time in branding on the naming of branding. This one is terrorist, this one is bandit. What is the difference? A criminal is a criminal. Anybody that is terrorizing or that creating fear in the mind of another person is already a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's terrorizing, creating fear and panicking. So anybody that is caught should be punished, except we are wasting our time. By playing politics with it.
Many thanks, Olalade. GKB, please, we say a bandit is a bandit is a bandit. So what's in a name? Let's go there, even if in passing. You know, we have condoned impunity for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And these guys who impugn the rules are, in my opinion, the untouchables.
No, the point he made was very germane, that these people do not look like people who collect millions. And Yorubas will say, the person that's going to dash you clothes, you first look at what he is wearing.
Say it in Yoruba.
Okay. So they will first look at you. So you look at the people that are collecting 100 million, 200 million, and then you wonder, that are these people
where are the millions?
This is not reflecting in their reality.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And then you know automatically they must have godfathers and they will have sponsors.
And godmothers.
And like another proverb that you know, cut the head of the snake and the snake is useless. What we have been cutting is the tail of the snake. So we need to look for the sponsors, how they get the weapons, how the money is transferred. 100 million is a lot of money to just disappear into the system. It can be traced. They will spend money. Remember the guy who caught Anini? What he said? He said, money as a way of attracting other vices.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, somebody will talk.
Whether or not you believe it.
Sooner or later, somebody will talk that this particular robbery, I was part of it. Or a woman will talk that my boyfriend came home with money, is now going to bigger girls because I'm no longer good enough. So that the system, but this one, it doesn't happen like this. This one is so controlled. Government will tell us one day we have names of people who sponsor terrorism. And that's it. You don't have any name, you don't have any case in court until the next round.
But is it done anywhere?
In most countries, even in our neighbors, like I said, when they take a territory, they hold it. And once you hold a territory, you cut off everything they are doing. Don't forget, we've done this about 6 months ago. Cut down the telecommunication masts. Make sure they don't have ways of getting petrol. It worked for a while. But knowing the Nigerian system, it will just be an avenue for somebody to make money. Because we have this tendency of not staying focused on whatever we are doing. It's a generic thing, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how generic it is.
Because no, it's true. But we will do something very well 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then we are diverted.
Okay, all right.
There's just one thing on my mind, but can leave it, okay.
Thomas is reaching us from Enugu. Thomas, listen, we'll believe you. Go on. We won't doubt anything. Go on.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
And, my guest is saying this too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You see, this issue of banditry, there are technologies. There are even the why they have a mask in the air. When you put that mask anywhere this incident is happening, you will see it will show. Immediately the military will arrive. Why do we have technology? We have technology so that we can be able to trap this called bandit. So we need this technology to help us. Like that's what happened in that Kaduna Abuja road.
Yeah.
If there is a mask on the air, it will shoot. And immediately the Air Force, the Navy, the military, they will land and they will take over that place. So we need to do something so that this thing will
we must do something. Thomas, I believe you. You know, Paul, so where do we go from here?
What we need to do actually is to rethink our strategy. That's it. There's something the Army Chief Chef said.
Thomas just talked about technology.
Technology, yes. We should.
You don't fight people like this with bare knuckles and so on.
I agree, absolutely. You need technology. You have to invest in technology. But beyond that, even if you have all the technology, there are certain things you still need to do. And I want to say something from the Army Chief's speech. He said he called on the members of the public to give accurate information to the bandit. He said many of them live with the people. But the question I need to ask is, has the army even earned the confidence of the people?
That's on one part. Exactly. On the other part, Nigerians are not ready to volunteer information because they are not too sure.
They are not too sure, and that is because of the disposition of those in uniform. Because of the disposition of those in uniform. If, for example, you see soldiers doing community service, cutting grass in the community or doing projects, and staying with the community members, discussing with them.
Obviously,
yes, they will gain their confidence.
There'll be a mix.
Exactly.
A mix.
But if they are going with this military men and all of that, people will be scared. People will be scared, and they'll be scared of volunteering information. So you need to earn the confidence of the people. People are not happy that bandits are attacking them. The communities aren't happy. People in the communities are not happy. So for you to get accurate information and proper intelligence gathering, you must come down from your sycamore tree and then relate on the same level with these people. Or yes, there will not be salvation.
Yeah. The
biblical story of Zacchaeus climbing the sycamore tree, and then Jesus said, come down.
Zacchaeus was a short man.
Exactly. But he climbed the tree, so let them come down.
JKB, so the military the military will be the big boy in this scenario.
Yeah.
They will do more than just go catch these guys, bring their corpses home. There's something we should do as we sit here.
I think we have to first face the reality that we're at war.
Yeah.
That's the first step. The 6 steps or 5 steps of trauma will tell you acceptance is the major factor to healing. First, you have to accept.
Admit that something is troubling you, yeah.
Because every strategy that is in the textbook has been applied in this war. Don't forget, they shut down the telecommunication masts. They stopped them from selling petrol beyond 5 liters. They stopped motorcycles from plying certain roads. It worked for a while. But the Nigerian factor will always come in. And that's my grouse. Yeah, I'm sure our military is one of the best in the world. Yeah. They've proven that time and time again. How come at their own home turf, they have a challenge of putting down an insurgency, according to them? That is where the challenge lies. We must stay focused. There will be setbacks. We have to accept that. Like in any war, there will be setbacks. But we should not let this deter us from doing what we think is right. Like I said, every strategy in the textbook has been applied to this war. You don't want them to have communication? Check. You don't want them to have logistics? Check. You don't want them to have people bringing them food? Check. But you and I know that you can only do this as far as you can hold those spaces. Yeah. Our inability to hold on to captured spaces is the bane of this campaign. Nothing more, nothing less.
But this is not to take anything away from our soldiers.
Like I said, some of the best in the world.
Oh, we are very proud of them.
Extremely.
We are sorry we have come to this pass. Avoidably.
Yeah.
Paul, avoidably.
Yes, avoidably. It could have been prevented. When the seeds were being sown. The seeds were being sown when some of the Almajiris of yesterday became bandits of today. Some of the Almajiris of yesterday became bandits of today.
Yeah.
How did they turn out to be bandits?
And the drug pandemic.
Exactly. Did we even check what was going on in those schools? In those, among the Almajiris.
Sorry, Paul. We are being joined by Ismail. Ismail is in Lokoja. Lokoja is in Kogi State. Good evening, Ismail.
Good evening, sir. And good evening to all of you at the studio.
Welcome.
Yes, it's a sad news. I passed through the road yesterday morning.
Which road?
And yes, Abuja.
Oh, all right. You passed through there.
I traveled from Kaduna to Lokoja just yesterday. So unfortunately, I knew the guy where they recorded the video, the amateur video shown on your station from. It's unfortunate. As I traveled, it's been more than 3 years I traveled on the road. But I went to Kaduna on Saturday and came back yesterday for a wedding. And I discovered certain things on the road. It is, I live in Kogi.
Discovered certain things like what?
Yes, the roadblocks arrangements.
the roadblocks there were closer to villages. And I saw communities, I don't know if they are being paid, clearing the roads along Kaduna. I slowed down to ask a man, and I said, how dangerous is this one? They said this is the most dangerous. That they advised me that I should not travel alone as we join a convoy. As they were speaking, I heard a siren coming behind me. It was army, the healers. And I followed them down to Kaduna. What I saw was the distance of the roadblock were too far away. And those roadblocks were closer to communities. And the advantages these people take is they need to organize themselves. So they need a place where they cannot be seen.
Yeah.
So I will suggest, just like the man in your studio, that we need technology.
That's it.
In simple,
Ismail, thank you. But you must know, gentlemen, like Ismail should know, roadblocks are determined by the experts.
Yeah.
Fix one here, fix one there, and
because the road is is about 2 hours on a good day to move from Kaduna to Abuja.
Okay. Let's go on a break. We'll be back shortly. Please stay with us. We have 2 more stories to deal with. All right, then, let's go to our next story. You know, the Apex Igbo cultural group, the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo, like a Daniel come to judgment, has appealed to residents in the southeast zone to ignore the sit-at-home directive by the separatist group, the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. Now, leader of the group, Nnamdi Kanu, if you recall, had increased tension in the region after he was seized in Kenya on 29th June 2021. The group noted that the sit-at-home order had the tendency of destroying the economic life of the people and hamper efforts aimed at reaching a diplomatic solution to the conflict. The Chidi Ibe-led faction of the Ohanese prevailed on the federal government to release Kanu as a way of averting a breakdown of law and order. Paul, but the guy is in court.
Yes, he's in court, but the costs of the sit-at-home is serious. People have lost much money, the economy of that place has been affected. And even when, there were times that IPOB even said, okay, we have lifted the sit-at-home, and you still see people not going out because it looks like there are some other groups. Some other groups
break away
have infiltrated.
Exactly. But the truth of the matter is, the people of the southeast, whether they are IPOB or not IPOB, are interested. Every sane Southeastern, every sane Nigeria is interested in the prosperity of their region. And it is still their people that are suffering. And it also shows, to me, it shows that people can be persuaded. People can actually be persuaded. People are reasonable when you persuade them. You may, no matter how much you look at IPOB, no matter how much you think the jury is out on them, people have opinions, divergent opinions on them. I still want to know that there are reasonable people there who would say, okay, fine, this is affecting my brother or my sister, affecting the trade of my brother, affecting the business of my sister. So it's fine. Whether Nnamdi Kanu is in court or not, the truth of the matter is that sit-at-home is not sustainable. It can't go on forever. So I really commend the IPOB for now for listening to voice of wisdom and then taking that action.
Okay.
So I commend them, and I commend Ohanese, the leaders of Ohanese leaders for persuading, those who are very aggrieved that please let life go on.
Yeah, GKP, but I'm looking at let Kanu walk home, a free man.
Well, I think the first thing we need to do is commend the Ohanese for being proactive. Because until a few months ago or a few weeks ago, they've allowed the IPOB directive to control the narrative of the Southeast. But in the last 2 weeks, they've been very proactive. They met with the president. they've made demands for a political solution, and then they've also talked directly to their people. They've shown leadership, which is what we've been asking for on this program for weeks. Because people cannot simply be left leaderless, rudderless, to be controlled by street gangs. People without no vocation will now be the one telling such a distinguished set of people how to live their lives on a Monday. And the danger is that either they want to obey or not, they've not seen any concerted efforts by elected leadership to really enforce their movement on Mondays. So I'm very happy for the 2-3 steps they've taken. One, they've started their leadership of the region by looking for a political solution. And second, they've been moving in the right direction by telling people what they need to do within the space of time. Not only on this Monday, they must be consistent every Monday to let people know that they must go out. And the only way to solve this problem is being tackled by those who are mandated to solve the problem.
Yeah. Paul, but you know, let's try this for size. It is the right of a people to feel a sense of separation. I take you to Western Cameroon, you know, which is it Ambazonian?
Yeah.
It is their right, but then there are laid down procedures for achieving such a separation.
Definitely there are, but sometimes when people feel that their patience has run its course, it's like when you are pushing someone, you push someone against the wall, the back is already against the wall, you are still pushing them. They would probably want to push you back. Of course, where there is dialogue, of course, you remember that the struggle for secession in the Southeast didn't start with IPOB. You had a MASOB, okay?
Yeah.
But things died down. But later, when some people felt they were shortchanged or they were not listened to, they were marginalized, and there were no visible moves or convincing moves for them to be placated, for them to be met, and all of for dialogue. There are no convincing on the part of government. At some point, they felt what they should do is to just. I will not speak for them. I am not saying it's the right thing, but I just want to acknowledge, consider this happened.
Yeah.
It has happened in nations. And it keeps happening over and over again. It may not be the best, but when dialogue, the part of dialogue is not pursued, then what you might have is chaos and violence. I don't know, I should say something about, you talk about your desire to have Nnamdi Kanu released or something.
No. The Ohaneze, a faction.
Okay, I know about that.
Saying, release Nnamdi Kanu. But I insist, the process, it has to go through processes.
No. The truth of the matter is, it depends on how the president and government looks at it. If I heard what he said when they met him, he said, it doesn't interfere with the judiciary. But the truth of the matter is, the Attorney General of the Federation has what they call noli prosecute. That's the noli prosecute privileges. You can tell the court that you want to discontinue the prosecution, and you don't even have to give any reason.
Yeah.
So it's not tampering with the judiciary. It's about, I don't want to, as a gesture of goodwill, maybe I don't want to do it. But then I'm sure there are a lot of things for them to consider. If we do it, what is the implication?
Yeah.
You understand? Is he going to agree to a gentleman's solution? You know, those are some of the things they have to consider, but it is doable. Honestly, we need friendship. We need cooperation. We don't need more violence. So if there's a way the matter of Nnamdi Kanu can be resolved without prosecution,
politically or diplomatically,
it's fine. I'm all for it.
Let's welcome Olalade, this time in Lagos. Olalade, good evening to you.
Good evening. How are you, august citizen?
Yeah, I greet you. Welcome.
I'm sorry, I have to put you back for the first episode you treated before this one. You mentioned something very important, that we should not be discussing strategy or anything about security on TV.
Or counter moves and so on, yeah.
Exactly. There was a day, and I'm very sorry to say this, I sat down on the TV. I saw Jide inviting a security officer, talking about Tucano, what Tucano can do for 2 hours. Does that help our security?
Okay.
No. I think he was talking about the capacity,
yes.
the capability
perhaps
of the machine.
Yeah.
Not the way they to be deployed.
Was he talking to somebody who should know?
He was not talking about how we are going to deploy
the truth of the matter is,
he was talking about how they are going to.
Jide is not in the military. He doesn't have to know what their next move.
Yeah, but mine is, if you are planning a counter against bandits or insurgents.
Don't tell us.
We must not know. Just do the thing.
Absolutely, I agree to that.
I think the Yorubas, you people, GKB, you will help me here. If you use 40 years to practice madness,
how long are you going to practice
the real deal?
Yeah. So 40 years to rehearse.
To rehearse.
So how long will you now practice?
Yeah.
I think the challenge we face as a nation, and I've said it before, even on radio, we talk too much. We have this vague sense of importance. If we are quoted, even on things that we know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah.
It's a disease. And it's not peculiar to the military.
GKB, apart from that, we indulge a lot in monkey business. It's only a monkey that will borrow the money he does not need to buy the things he does not require to impress people who don't like him. So back to Nnamdi Kanu,
back to Nnamdi and the Sunday Igboho and any other people
and their cousins
of that ilk.
Yeah,
I think the government, I don't want to say the president, I think this government is misreading the dilemma that we are in as a nation. When he was asked clearly about marginalization and lack of inclusiveness, he said that there are 36 ministers. I said, that's not the definition of inclusiveness. It's a perception. If I don't feel I belong, then I don't belong. Sometimes people are happy just to see somebody who looks like them, who speak like them, who talk their language, in a position of power. It's not going to do anything for them physically. Just the idea that there's a perception that we are there.
Our Pekin
there. Now one of our own, as we say in Ibadan, shun of the soil.
Yeah.
How many of them have access to that Pekin? How many of them can?
No, that's what I'm saying. I said it's the perception.
Exactly. No.
They don't really care.
They don't care if he does. They have access.
They don't care about access. They don't even want to see him. They just want to wake up and hear on the radio that the president is our son, or the vice president is our son, or something of that nature.
Yeah.
They may not even have access to him for 8 years.
GKB, you and Paul can be in the saddle tomorrow as governor, as name it.
Or me as president.
As president. Yeah, but you, okay, join a party first. But then, who you hire to do a particular job is at your discretion.
Yes, true. The truth of the matter is there are some realities with us. The realities are, we want to know how many people are Yorubas there, how many people are Igbos, how many people are Christians, how many people are Muslims. It is the way we are. We have to put that into consideration in what we do. There are competent people in every...
Well, so the people who wrote the Constitution didn't think that way? You are thinking for them?
I'm talking about our realities. Constitution or no constitution, it's our reality. This is a kind of thing that can hit up the polity. So if you can avoid the polity from being heated by fostering doing things that foster inclusiveness, why not? Why do you want to keep tempting the tempter to tempt you, or you are troubling trouble? You understand? Why don't you just, because if your disposition, at some point, I was almost thinking that the president was more of an emir of Arewa land than the president of Nigeria. Okay? And then when you were confronted, you were talking about, you were bringing in the dot in the circle, then what's it called, dot in the circle notion, and all of that. Those are unpresidential statements.
And Nigerians went to town
with it. You don't do that. People are listening, people are wise. Your disposition, sometimes, it's not even what you say. It is what you say, what your silence says. Or
what you didn't say.
What you didn't say. Thank you very much. So, all of these put together. There must be a way of changing these things.
Okay, there certainly are. Benga from Abuja is with us.
Yes.
Good evening, Benga.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, John.
Yeah.
And good evening, gentlemen there.
Yes,
The demand of the leaders of the Southeast to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally is a very hard something. But I want to ask, where were these leaders when this thing was starting? Where were they when unknown government, all these things were harassing people, killing soldiers, burning government property and institutions? If they had done the right thing at the beginning, this is where we were today. When Kanu was overseas, giving instruction to people to kill policemen, where were they? If the government should release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally as the actor, he had an indication that anybody in this country or can hold any close to ransom and say, if you don't do this for us, nobody will go out. It's very
Benga.
I don't know how the president will handle it. They're very dead that anybody can hold the government ransom. That look, sit at home. They don't give up. Nothing will happen in this region.
Thank you, Benga. Thank you. We share your sentiments, gentlemen. But we know if we get to a stage in our country where a group of people will elect to be appeased. What's the English word now? I've forgotten it. Appeased. Appeased. So it's not about appeasing a people. It's about making a people feel a sense of belonging.
Yeah, that's the key.
That's it.
That's the key word. I remember that at a point in time, even
the word
right
I
now,
was looking for is propitious, when a people become propitious,
Because I remember that at a point in time, federal appointments are based on zones. And at a point in time, they will tell you that you already have the senator, so you cannot have a commissioner from that zone, even at state level. So it's a matter of us using that as a tool to bring everybody on board. About what Boyega said, of course, but there are sometimes you have to do the unlikely for the greater good. Because you can insist on the legislative termination or the judicial termination of a crime. But I looked at the end of the day, what will be the solution?
All right, the solution is to go to the next story. It is crunch time for governors of the All Progressives Congress APC ahead of the party convention and perceived signing of the past amended Electoral Act, by Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. The governors met at the Kebbi State Governors Lodge, Abuja, and Governor Atiku Bagudu, who is chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, PGF, gave a hint of the meeting with Mr. President on Sunday. According to him, the APC governors commended the caretaker committee of the party after successful congresses across the country. In politics, GKB, the key words are aspiration, inspiration, and then desperation.
I think we are on the third leg now. As far as the governors are concerned. I think, and it is funny, because they've been having their way since 2003. We've been running what I fondly call the gubernatocracy. That's the government of the governors, for the governors, by the governors. Don't forget about the famous nights of long knives, if I can call it that.
Oh, the long knives.
Not that one, the one between Obasanjo, Atiku, and the governors for the PDP ticket in 2003. So they realized their power, they've been using it to the maximum in the last almost 20-something years. So they were blindsided by this law because it takes away that power from them to determine who and what gets what in states. Because direct primaries ensured that all party members, in theory, have equal rights before the law.
It's like an election before the election.
As it's called, normally we call it the mandated election. Basically to test the popularity with the members of your party. So that what happened in Anambra will not happen to where you have members who are over 250,000 voting in the primaries but could not turn up for the general election. The governors have been blindsided and they are desperate to get back power. They appear to have lost. Because if the president should sign this bill, it neutralizes whatever advantage they think they have.
Yeah, but a PDP governor has threatened to go to court.
Everybody, they are free to go to court because what do you call it now? Democracy is defined differently by people. But still, the government of the people, by the people, for the people. And we are saying that
otherwise, there's no Nigerian no Nigerian type democracy.
No. We always find a way to work out our differences. It's going to be interesting times.
Yeah, Paul, very interesting.
Very.
We don't have a problem. My governor in Akwa Ibom is a PDP man. So the APC governors, are they necessarily speaking for all the governors?
They are speaking. Okay, well, we know that all the governors in Nigeria are APC governors.
They are speaking for APC governors.
They are speaking for themselves now. They are speaking for their own interests. You know, so I just keep wondering, why are they afraid of direct primary? Why? I read Governor Bagudu say that it is undemocratic not to allow the party to choose their form of primaries. And I say, no, sir. What is undemocratic is not to allow the people in your party, every eligible person in your party, to choose their candidates.
And by the way, Paul, do you recall that Mr. President became the candidate through a direct primary?
That is it. That's it. So I don't know why they are afraid of it. Let people decide.
If you are popular.
If you are popular, you will win. If you lose,
so
take it in good faith.
But except that your politicians are bad losers, and sometimes they, as winners, they are.
What is that government called again? Honestly, I am tempted to say, and for the most part, it is true that what we are having in Nigeria is kakistocracy. Government is like the worst of us rule the best of us. The truth of the matter is, it's with all these things, it's confirmed that these people are only after their interests. Their own interests. What do you want to go to court for? Why are you putting pressure on the president? The governors are they are like a court. You see, it's a very powerful, like he said, what did you call it? Gubernocracy. It's all about their will. What they want is for them to sit down, each other to sit down in their state and decide the delegates. Decide who gets to vote.
Who wins the
people that they can
them.
induce to vote for those who will succeed them.
In a direct primaries, you must have more than a chunk.
Exactly.
A chest, you know.
Go and test your popularity among the people.
Yeah.
Go and test your popularity. If you are a governor, you want somebody to be your successor. Okay, support him, but let the people decide. If you are a governor, you want to go back for second term, let the people decide.
Yeah, GKB, do us a favor. Break it down. What's the difference between the direct primary and the indirect primary?
Indirect primaries means that you get together and elect people to represent you at the primaries.
The delegate system.
The delegate system, where people are elected to go ahead and elect on your behalf. Governors will tell you it's time saving and it saves cost. But reality is that can be manipulated. And as an aside, it's also
often manipulated.
It's also very rich for Bagudu to come out and talk about democracy. When Adams was Shomole's administration that was elected by a party congress was sacked by declaration by the president.
Yeah.
Just like that. And a sitting governor is now in charge of a party that people have given mandate to run the party for a particular number of years. You that a beneficiary of an illegality is now complaining of the legality of the law that you want to go against. It's like a thief complaining that how can you be that's how thieves start.
It's just a matter of self-interest.
You have 3 phones and you gave me only one. Say you have only 1 phone. You become a thief tomorrow. You understand?
It's just about self-interest. It's not about the interest of the people.
There are some arguments against direct primaries. One of them is that it is costly.
In the old days, as you know, you are the ancestor. People own the parties. Yeah. You pay money. My father and my uncle, as you all know in Ibadan, they pay money to be members. They have a card.
Yeah.
The money is what
after they pay.
They take to run the parties. They own the parties. And they let you know that they own these parties. Why are they afraid of people to come in?
Please, did you hear them give the excuse of COVID-19? That when people come together, that one is a very risible argument. These are people that do a lot of Owambe and they cluster. They don't remember COVID-19 then.
Yeah.
You understand? Very risible.
Nigerian politician is the best set of comedians you can get.
I'm telling you.
Obviously, as I said, 3 words are very, very, in politics, 3 words are very, very prominent. You are inspired, which is the other one?
Aspiration. You have aspiration.
You aspire, there's aspiration, there's inspiration and desperation. So when a politician is desperate...
We are in the 3rd leg now.
Yeah, when a politician is desperate, anything is possible.
Exactly. And all kinds of arguments we bring, including those that are very defective and very unintelligent.
Very shallow.
Very, very, very shallow. Thank you, that's the word. Very shallow.
But Paul, in all of this, nobody's talking about the electorate.
That is exactly what we're talking about. It's about self-interest. It's not about service. If one is desperate, if the desperation is about changing the lives of the people.
Yeah.
Why? Then let the people decide for you. You want to change my life? I want you. It is not you I want. I want the sister, the other man I want. It's as simple as that.
All right, GKB, our own election time has come to go.
And we are not desperate.
We are not desperate at all, even though we aspired to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we must go. That we'll just about do it. But just before we go, I want to thank GKB for coming.
Always a pleasure.
Paul, many thanks for your time.
Very much welcome.
And of course the viewer, many thanks for making it happen. That's all on the program today. There's another one tomorrow. But do remember, if you missed this one, join us at 11 tonight for a repeat broadcast. And of course, on Sunday we are on from 1:30 to 3:30. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now.